Public schools are places that are welcoming and accepting to diversity of thought and action, right? Let's look at a couple examples. A story is told about a little girl whose teachers did not even allow her to pray for her school lunch with her friends. And that story is found in an article written by Kafer in 2002 and published in the book titled Religion and Education. Another story is told by Henderson on a blog post on the ACLU's website in 2012. As a high school teacher, he came in contact with a Sikh student who was pressured to cut his long hair against his religious convictions in order to avoid the ridicule of his classmates. There's a problem in the public schools of suppressing religious ideas and manifestations, thus creating an atmosphere that is unfriendly, uncertain, and unrealistic for many students. To combat this issue, public schools need to allow personal convictions to be followed, they need to allow unbiased discussions of religious topics, and they need to allow religion to be taught about in order to make schools a better place for students from all backgrounds. The first step is to allow personal convictions to be followed. This is a wonderful way to open up opportunities for discussion. For example, if the Sikh student had not felt pressured to cut his hair, it could have been a means of students asking questions about religious topics. It also gives students the freedom to be themselves without feeling pressured. I quote, "Encouraging students to deepen their own worldviews and to come to terms with their own beliefs, values, and morals is crucial in helping them shape the world that they want for themselves and others." As cited by Vaught, professor of worldview studies, in a 2007 article published in the British Journal of Religious Education. At this point, I need to define religion and religious freedom. Religion, in this context, is basically all beliefs, worldviews, and morals, and things like that. And it includes Christianity, but is not exclusive to it. Religious freedom, then, would be the ability to follow one's personal convictions, regardless of what worldview you have. However, this religious freedom is subject to the well-being of others. That is very important. If schools are already allowing their students to follow their personal convictions, that's wonderful because it paves the way for the following steps. You see, once schools have allowed students to live out their faith, it opens the doors for unbiased religious discussions, which is the next step. Kafer, in a 2002 article, the same one we cited before, said, "Creating a space for religious expression can improve the school environment." It's very interesting. Instead of causing arguments, tension, and hostility like you might expect, Hunter, in 2000, contended that a broad education which includes religion would actually help students to, quote, "find agreement within moral diversity," as cited by Vaught in 2007. Once students are able to openly voice their opinions without being ridiculed, they'll actually feel understood and they'll go on to try to understand others instead of scoring their ideas. The National Council for the Social Studies Curriculum Standards, cited by Kafer in 2002, said, "Knowledge about religions is absolutely necessary for understanding and living in a world of diversity." What a better place than the public schools for students to learn to get along with one another and look beyond their disagreements and differences of thought and opinion. If schools would allow more time for unbiased religious discussions, they would help to create that friendly class atmosphere, and they would prepare students for real-world interactions. Once schools have done these two things, they can move on to teach about religion. Pass and Willocks of the University of North Carolina, in an article written in 2009 and found in a journal titled Social Studies, talked about how public schools originally taught Protestant religion. Nowadays they've moved on to what they call multicultural education, but the problem is that they usually sidestep the religious aspects of the different cultures. In 2007, Rosenblith and Bailey, both in the education field at Clemson University, in the magazine Educational Studies, said, "Religious studies has the capacity to help students enlarge their minds and outlooks about the religious and non-religious other through increased knowledge, understanding, and respect." They went on to say that religious studies has the potential to eliminate harmful stereotypes and to replace them with accurate information about religious groups. To quote Henderson again, "We can and should remain vigilant in protecting religious freedom, which includes the need to make sure that people of all faiths, or no faith at all, are protected in our public schools." You can see that respect is a very important issue to many people, and rightly so. Jackson in 2004 said that learning about religion provides a genuine forum for learning the skills to interpret, reflect upon, and gain insights from different worldviews, as cited in Bach's same article. Discussion and study and knowledge have to come before that respect and the insight can be gained. If schools would allow more time to teach about religion, they would instill in the students a respect for others and thus contribute to an atmosphere where everyone feels secure in who they are. Some people say, though, isn't allowing religion in the public school classroom illegal? Actually, that's not so. The United States Department of Education's 2003 Guide on School Prayer informed us that the government cannot initiate religion, but they also cannot interfere with or prohibit private religious practices. Also, an ACLU article in 2003 explained that while it is unconstitutional for schools to teach religion, they may teach about how religion has affected the different subjects of study. The main point is that they can't, quote, promote religious ideas and practices as part of the curriculum, end quote. So there has to be a balance. Schools cannot push religion, but they're also not prohibited from presenting it in an unbiased light. I think Kafer put it very well. She said, "An understanding of the role of religion in history, art, and current events is necessary for a well-rounded education. Students need to be learning these things, not in a pushy way, but in an unbiased way, so that they can gain that understanding and respect of others and learn how to interact with people on all levels." Looking back, we see that it's schools' legal right to teach about religion and to hold unbiased religious discussions, and above all, to allow everyone to follow their personal convictions. If schools would maintain these freedoms, they would help create an atmosphere that is friendly, secure, and realistic for everyone, the little girl praying for her school lunch and the Sikh boy included.